So, hi, Kobe. Thanks for being here. Thanks for this interview opportunity. It's a really great honor to be talking to you. How are you doing? Are you safe right now?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm safe. This is a very complex, complicated days with a lot of mixed feelings of sadness, anxiety, but also hope uh, when you are together with your beloved ones. And I always have the hope that better days will come, but these are very complicated days, actually.
Yeah, they really are. But you're really making them brighter by your new release that's going to be out on the 1st of December. I have and you may create that's a live album. What can the fans that didn't attend that show expect from this release?
They can expect a very, very good Orphaned Land show, probably the biggest and the most challenging that we ever did. This is Orphaned Land and an orchestra, which means it's the band and plus 60 more musicians. And this is a very good opportunity to see the band in its all glory. And this was the 30th anniversary of the band, so they can expect a very, very good album with new versions with classical arrangements for some of the most famous songs of the band. So it's going to be a very nice experience, I think.
Yeah, and this show was recorded in Heichal HaTarbout in Tel Aviv, which is one of the most important showrooms in Israel. How was the feeling of playing there?
It was an amazing feeling because this is a Hall of Fame indeed, and the fans were very excited to see that metal actually arrived to this place where usually mainstream or classical music were played. They felt very proud that growlings were heard in this venue, the things that excite metalheads all the time. It was amazing to see all the bars and coffee shops full with these people, and it was a let's say an experience they will not forget.
Yeah, for sure. It was an incredible show. Like from what I could see, like in the digital promo I got, it was really incredible show. What memories do you keep from it?
Basically, the moments where the show started and I saw the venue was so full. It was at the times of the COVID era, and in these days, we didn't know if the show is going to happen or not. So it was so exciting to see a full house after all these years of COVID. And to play that show and to celebrate the 30th anniversary. I felt the whole 30 years of career summering into this point, which was very strong experience.
Yeah, and those 30 years of career were summarized by playing songs from each and every album that you ever released. How did you
Yeah.
select the songs for such an important show?
Well, we selected them with the musical director that we had for the show, and it was just the feeling that we had that these songs will have a great, let's say, a great experience to arrange it with classical arrangement. That was it was simply professional. We thought these songs would fit classical arrangement as well.
Yeah, and that on those arrangements with the orchestra and everything. I mean, it was really something huge that you decided to do here. When did you decide to record this show with an orchestra and to celebrate the 30 years of the band?
We decided to do it when we saw that the anniversary is coming, and we thought that we had to do something special. And we always wanted to do an album with the orchestra. So it was very challenging, but we found a production company that was willing to do it with us. And that was the right moment that we thought that this is the best timing to do it. And it's a once in a lifetime event. And we always search what is the next level? How can we take things to the next level? What is the next dream? What is the next thing that we didn't achieve yet? So that was the feeling was that this is something that we really have to do for this anniversary and to stand in the highest point of our career.
Yeah, and you already said that you had to make some arrangements to the songs to make them more orchestral. What exactly did you had to do?
So first we met with the musical director and the musical director and the band, we picked up all the songs for the track list. After that, he gave it to several musical arrangers to write the partitures for the classic arrangement. So we did it with a few people, some boys and girls who have this classical education, let's call it that way. And then they sent us sketches of the album recordings. For example, they took the song, let's say, like Orpheus, and they put a sequence of the classic arrangement that they did. So you could hear the song with a demo of, let's say, a computer that plays the cello and computer that plays the violin and computer that plays the flute. You could hear where does it go musically. We had to approve it. We had to either send comments, in which some cases we did. We sent comments, here you have this harmony, correct it, or maybe do something else over there. And then once we have everything approved, we proceed and gave it to the orchestra and the conductor to start to work with the orchestra. Then we did 3 very big rehearsals with all the band members and the orchestra, when we literally played the show and they played and practiced some of the stuff. A lot of the stuff we had to play multiple times, so we had to repeat this part again and again and again, so they will figure out some things. We were just like robots in these rehearsals, because the musical director, he was in charge. We just had to play our songs, and then we did a final rehearsal in the sound check of the show, just to fine tune everything, because it was like, a few days without rehearsal, so we wanted to check this and that. So it was a very long process, very challenging process, but it was definitely worth the effort.
Yeah, it definitely was. And this despite having all those new arrangements that you had to do, all your or most of your songs already have some orchestral arrangements and stuff. How did you combine like those new arrangements with those old arrangements that the song already had?
So first of all, we had to change it. Sometimes we had to take the violins that we had in our albums and to let the new violins to play it. And but sometimes the violins just played what is played with the orchestra on the album, because that was already a part of the song melody. So we simply deleted every, let's say, playback that we have on a normal show, on a normal club show. We had to take those playback down and to let the orchestra play it, whether if it's the same thing or if it's a different element.
Yeah, I mean, you did a really great job, I must say. It's really really incredible. You should be proud.
Thank you very
Now,
much.
your last album, your last live album, was released in 2011. What were the most notorious changes that you noticed between recording one and recording the other?
Well, the first one was in the 20th anniversary of the band.
Yeah.
It was an amazing show. We had Steven Wilson as a guest on that show. We had we put a lot of efforts in having Oriental players with us on stage, and we had a live video art that was played with us the whole show. So that was a completely different experience to that show, and I think that we didn't want to do another show that will be in the same let's say level and the same ideology. So the fact of going to a classical orchestra was something that we really wanted to do. I think many metal bands want to make an album with an orchestra.
Yeah.
This is something that metal bands love to do, from Metallica to Septic Flesh to Rage or any other ones. Metal people love that, and I think that this is definitely I think it's interesting to see both shows. If you are a fan of the band, and live albums can be sometimes not all the people love live albums, and I think that looking at those 2 live shows of Orphaned Land can be a very nice experience, because they are completely different in many ways.
Yeah, they sure are. Everything is different. I mean, one is an orchestra. I mean that only changes everything. Now, moving back to the set list, you already said that you covered all of your discography. but I think the album that you played more songs from, it's probably Mabum, right? Why did you decide to
Yeah.
focus on that album?
Mabul is still, until that point, is the most famous and popular album of Orphaned Land. It was a career-changing album. I mean, that album was the album that opened the world to Orphaned Land. It was the first album released by Century Media. We immediately started to tour the world after this album, something that we didn't do until that point. And it is still one of the most beloved albums of the band. Of course, I love all the albums after Mabul, but then every time we play a show or make a poll, people really want the songs from Mabul, and there are so many of them. And in this album, in the live album with the classical arrangement, we had to put the complete two songs of Mabul and The Storm Still Rages inside to open, because it has this classical arrangement in the beginning. And we thought that it would be great to open the show with the theme songs of the most beloved album. So we had to add, apart from Birth of the Tree and Ocean Land and The Kiss of Babylon and Nora El Nora, we even had to add these two songs of Mabul. So it appeared that many songs from that album was played on that show.
Yeah, and it's still a brilliant album. It's my favorite album from Orphaned Land still to this day. So
You
yeah,
see, there you go.
yeah, that's the answer, right? Um,
Yeah.
Now, Sapari was the first single from this release, and this song was originally written like 400 years ago by a Jewish rabbi. Does the choice of this song specifically has anything to do with your country's current situation?
No, it was decided as the single strategy was decided way before um, the war started, and we simply thought that this performance is very good. Sapari is a very beloved song, and the arrangement of that song is very amazing. So we thought that it will be amazing for people to hear Sapari on a classical arrangement. It was simply a professional decision, nothing to do with the
Hmm.
current situation.
Yeah, maybe even made the decision before the war actually started.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. Now when the war is started, it's very strange for us to post something
Mhm.
normal, or to post a song. We posted now The Cave as the third, The Cave from the latest album. We posted it now as the third single, and we felt it's very symbolic to post it. But that was also a decision we got before the war. It just fits. Our song sometimes fits the situation in this magical way.
Yeah, because you were also your lyrics were also always very political and stuff like that. So yeah, it also
Yeah, of course.
always fits very well.
True.
What about new studio album? Are there any plans yet?
Yeah, we need to release the live album, and then we wanted to tour during 2024 to promote the live album, and then we have no choice. We need to bring another studio album. So this should happen probably during maybe 2025. I think we will be able to do that.
Yeah, and how do you think like the war will make your the production and the writing of the new album? How will it affect it?
The war really shut down all my at the moment, it's shutting down all my creative, all my hopes, all my soul and spirit. It's all shrinking into a very short and small, tiny spot. I hate the war, and I cannot write during the days of war. I can write only maybe after, in a retrospective. For the moment, I'm just trying to keep my faith and to keep my hope and to keep my beloved ones safe. Um, but I'm reaching my 50s very soon, and we did 6 studio albums and 2 live albums, and it makes you wonder, what can you write more? How can you
Evolve.
address these subjects from which angle? And I'm shaping these ideas. Let's say I'm not writing at the moment, but I'm thinking, and that thinking will bring something to be born at some stage, and we shall see where we will take it. We shall see where we will take it. I think it's going to be a little bit more depressed, let's say,
Yeah.
because nothing is really changes. So maybe, I don't know. We need time to see, but I think it will be a little bit more sad or dark, maybe this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and we'll see. And I'm sure you will make a great job. I mean, all the albums from Orphaned Land are different from the previous ones, and still all of them sound really, really good. So I'm sure that you're going to do a great job as well.
Thank you.
Now, you were saying that you were making a tour, like in the beginning of next year, to promote this live album. You are going to have 2 dates in Portugal, one in Porto and one in Lisbon. What are you preparing for those shows?
Well, I can't wait to come back to Lisbon and Porto. We really love Portugal. Um, and we are planning to have, a normal Orphan Land show where we celebrate life and brotherhood and friendship of humanity. Each and every one of our shows is a celebration of humanity and coexistence. And you cannot expect less on our next show. Despite the war, I hope that we will come and bring fresh energies of lights and hopes and good energy to people. And I can't wait actually to do normal things as playing a show, meeting our fans, celebrating life and music. So it will be great to see all of our fans and to meet again.
Yeah, and do you think you have any sort of problems to leave your country in this different situation, complicated situation that it's living right now?
For the moment, there are many voices and many confusions because the war has created also a huge wave of anti-Semitism. In Europe, Jews are afraid to leave their houses in London or Paris or anywhere else, which is very unfortunate to see that anti-Semitism is still out there, and Jews always get the privilege to be accused with so many problems, as if the Jews were the only ones in the planet to be in war or to be in a conflict. Everyone were in wars. Portugal, Spain, England, America, Holland, and Sweden. Everyone were in wars, and all the time in wars, in a sense, were injured. This is not a Jewish startup, and we are not different than anyone else. But it's sad to see anti-Semitism because in Israel there is a warning for all Israelis to hide their Judaism, to hide the fact that they are Israelis, so that they will not get hurt. And on a demonstrations in Australia, on a pro-Palestinian demonstration in Australia, they were shouting, "Gas the Jews." And in a shop in Turkey, they put a sign that Israelis are not allowed to enter the shop. And in Paris, they sprayed the Star of David on the houses of Jews. I never see people do that to Russians or to Turks
Yeah.
or to British people or to Americans. This is something that it has nothing to do with the hatred of Jews. It's a very ancient, disgusting behavior that I think the world should get rid of. So at the moment, there is a lot of confusion. People are asking us, okay, what if you will get hurt? Because you are a walking target.
Yeah.
It's an Israeli band coming to, we need to play in Lyon, in France. 2 days ago, a Jewish people were stabbed in Lyon, and the stabber were painting the swastika on the wall of her house.
Yeah.
So I just wait and hope that maybe things will change. I don't want to postpone the tour. So for the moment, everything is as usual. And I hope that it will be more calm so that we will not have to postpone it because we want to meet, we want to celebrate life. We definitely don't want to die. But I don't want to let those extremists win. I really want to do it. And that's why we wait. And I hope that better days will come in the next few weeks and we will keep it as it is.
Yeah, and Orphanland was always a place where everyone, orphanage shows were always a place where everyone could coexist peacefully. I mean, it doesn't matter the religion or everything or anything, So I really hope you can make your tour. I'm pretty sure I'll be there in the Porto show. I hope I can meet you there. You know, and I hope for the best for you and for your country.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to see you in the beautiful Porto. And thanks for telling about our album to your readers and listeners. And let's meet each other soon and celebrate life.
Yeah, exactly. Would you like to send any message to your Portuguese fans?
Of course, we love you very much, and we miss you, and we admire Portugal for so many reasons. One of them is I always admire Portugal for the way the Portuguese people overcome the fascist regime in the 70s without spilling one drop of blood. This is something you guys should be very proud of. Saying this, someone who come from a very bloody area, that blood is spilled all the time. This is why I call my band Orphaned Land, because it's not the Holy Land, it's not the Promised Land, it's the Orphaned Land. So coming from that place, I admire Portugal for putting the flowers into the guns and succeeding to create a regime of peace and love without spilling the blood. That is something that I really love, apart from the great food, the great wine, and of course, fado music. But we love you very much. We admire you, and we can't wait to meet you all. We say shalom and muito obrigado to all of you.
Kobi, thank you so much. It was an honor to do this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you soon.